Ho, ho, ho. Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Hello and welcome to the Hearth episode 9. My name is Christopher Punera, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Matthew. Don't call me Matt Hillman. Matt Hillman.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Frost is not with us today because we're doing kind of a weird recording thing right now where I'm busy at night, Matt's busy at night, and then Frost was busy during the day today, so we just kind of went with, who was the most available at what time, and that happened to be the morning with Matt and I, which is fitting, Matt Hillman. And can you tell me why it's fitting? I mean, don't get into it. Hold your horses, but can you just give us a little bit?
I'm so anxious, but there's one thing I have to say about the amount of content we're gonna cover in this special episode of The Hearth. You know what that one thing is?
Is it the new,
You are not prepared!
Oh, okay, I was about to say, is it the new expansion?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, like I said,
giddy right
we're gonna,
now. Like,
we're gonna,
I'm
I know,
jumping
I know.
around, I'm bouncing, my hands, I don't know what to do with my hands.
We will get there in just a moment. We still have other things we need to cover, but just so you guys know, just so you know, this show is going to be 95% WoW expansion talk.
Mm-hmm.
Just be warned. Just so you guys know, before we go into it, there won't be a card of the week this week, and there won't be a new Gromash hold question this week.
Okay, there kind of will though.
Oh, okay, well, kind of, but so just saying, most of this is being carved out and replaced with so much World of Warcraft Legion, you don't even want to know what else, I don't know, could be in there. I don't know how.
Yeah, just it's
going to be a lot.
Of
all right,
things.
That's fair. That's good. All right, so before we get started though, there was a couple of new things, like news-wise, that happened in the other games that we covered. Not that they're important right now.
Yeah.
No. But let's start with Hearthstone. Well, Gamescom was this week, and Blizzard made a strong freaking showing. And of course, we already knew about the Grand Tournament stuff. There were a bunch of new cards announced and released, and we will eventually go card by card, like we did for the original reveal, and talk about each of them, whether it's on this show or in a video format or something like that. But we want to do that with Frost, since he is our Hearthstone guy. And since they're coming out day to day, we think we're just going to do them all at once at the end. Kind of like a big dump.
Yeah.
So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about them now, because
But I do want to mention there's a pre-release, like pre-purchase thing in the Hearthstone store.
Yep.
You can get 50 packs for $50, and it also includes a special card pack or card back for the Grand Tournament. I think we talked about it last week.
We did.
But we don't know when the Grand Tournament's actually going to officially launch. So
they said August.
Yeah, it said August, so it could be any time this month. So chances are it's going to be pretty soon. So if you're looking to get that, you should probably get that sooner than later.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay. And then in Heroes of the Storm news, WoW fans, you should be pretty excited because a couple of really, really cool things are coming out right now.
Yeah.
We already knew about the announcement for the monk for Diablo being added to the game, Kharazim. He's also, they announced 2 skins with him as well. Master Kharazim, obviously with the Master skin. Jade Dragon Kharazim, which is the one that you can purchase. But they announced the addition of World of Warcraft hero character Rexxar.
Yeah, baby.
And his hero skin and Frost Lord Rexxar. And apparently a key mechanic with him is that you get to control his pets. So we're talking Misha, baby.
We're talking Misha.
We're talking Misha.
Hogger. We're talking Alec or whatever the other one's name is.
Is Hogger one of his pets?
Not Hogger, Huffer.
Oh, I was
That's
like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My bad. Yeah. I was just going off of what I know in Hearthstone.
Oh, fair enough. You mean, what was the Rylak's name? Was it just Rylak?
No, it's, I don't remember the name of the other one.
He's not a Rylak.
It's not
either.
a Rylak, no. He's like a panther or something.
A wyvern.
Man, we are good at this.
He is a wyvern. I'm
glad we don't have Frost with us.
I don't play Horde, man, so I don't really know. Anyway,
yeah, okay, that's your excuse.
A new Uther skin was released, Judgment Uther and themed abilities. So if you if you are familiar with, the Paladin set, the Judgment Paladin set, the one that's like all gold and has the hood and like the red mask and like the daggers on the shoulders and stuff like that, boy oh boy, does this look fucking sweet. It's that set, but on Uther.
Does he put up the hood and put it down and taunt?
No, he doesn't. He's not.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not Rengar.
Well, figured I'd try.
Earthbreaker, Thrall, and themed abilities looks better.
So this is actually the Cataclysm set. I don't know if it's actually was released in Cataclysm, but it's called the Cataclysm set for shamans, because this is the transmog I use in World of Warcraft. So I was like, damn, that's kind of cool.
It's the one that makes you look like you've blown up into bits and pieces and you're a volcano, right?
Yeah, basically.
Awesome. It looks really cool. Sergeant Doomhammer and themed abilities. So it's Sergeant Hammer fashioned after the stylings of the Doomhammer weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. Prisoner Tychus, shirtless and in all of his glory with his beer belly. It looks fantastic. The Blackheart's doubloon mount. It's a floating disc that looks like a doubloon. Malthael's Phantom Steed mount. Looks like Malthael was put into a horse form. Treasure Goblin mount. You know those treasure goblins that were around and are still kind of around? Well, you can ride one into battle. Little bastards. And then Judgment Uther's Charger mount. It's a mount to match his new skin.
And does it match? Oh my god, it looks cool.
It looks fantabulous. It looks gorgeous. But let's talk about competitive a little bit, just really quick, because I'm chomping at the bit here. I really want to talk about the expansion.
Get to this WoW stuff.
Yeah.
So last week during our live episode, I was told that I was an idiot and that the July Open had just ended.
No.
Turns out I was right.
I didn't tell you that you were an idiot. I just said you were wrong, and turns out that I'm an idiot and I was wrong.
You were wrong, Creed.
That's true.
Yeah, so the July Open actually only lasted one weekend, so I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Or maybe 2 weekends. I don't know. But anyway, it did end with Tempo Storm winning. We were all right about that. Mm-hmm. And then back to the Archon Team League Championship. Kibler finally drops a game, 2 actually. So he still has the best record at 8-2. But he did lose a game, so he's not perfect. But Nylum is 4-1, Archon 3-2, Valuetown 3-2, Tempo Storm 3-2, Cloud9 3-2. Forzen Boys and Liquid are both at 2-3. And Celestial still at 0-5. The coast of this tournament.
Oh boy,
I
almost got personal.
I'm sorry.
That
I'm sorry,
got
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It was a Freudian slip.
I'm sorry. Okay, dude.
Yeah. So, like we said, we're going to skip card of the week this week. And the question for Gromach Hold is basically, what part of Legion are you most excited for? So when we start talking about Legion, think about what you're most excited for, and then shoot us an email or put it on Facebook or something, and let us know what you think.
I'll post the question on the Facebook and the Twitter feeds as well.
Cool.
Unlike what I did last week, which was not that. So I will do that this week.
Hey, it's cool, man.
Cool. So let's dive in. Let's dive in, shall we?
I think we're ready.
So. I'm really, really excited. All right, prepare yourself. You've now entered the WoW zone for the next forever.
Yeah, probably like the next hour if we continue to just like talk about this.
Pretty much.
But yeah, the WoW expansion was revealed at Gamescom. The first thing that they announced was the trailer, which had also the name in it, which is Legion. World of Warcraft Legion. Now, one of the interesting things I noticed, somebody put this on Reddit, all of the World of Warcraft icons in the history of World of Warcraft have all used the same font and lettering for World of Warcraft, and then they've just kind of done something different with the letters of the expansion name.
Yes.
This one is different. They actually changed the words World of Warcraft in the logo. They're like black, and they're kind of, I don't know, shadowy kind of. So it's
look at that.
Kind of cool. It looks different, which is nice.
I'm staring at my my desktop wallpaper right now, which is...
I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah, let me pull up my phone where I also have the same wallpaper.
We have wallpapers everywhere because we're hype about this expansion.
Really hype. I also just love the army of infernals behind him.
Oh, man.
It's in the wider shot. Yeah, it's really great.
If you know anything about World of Warcraft lore, chances are you already know this, but Yeah, one of the things that they announced was that in the trailer is that Illidan will be back for this expansion.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about the cinematic trailer really quick before we get in there.
Sure, dude.
Because I don't want to leave this in the dust. So the cinematic trailer.
Actually, I want to be clear. This is not the cinematic trailer. This is the
cinematic teaser.
Yes, the teaser with the different things that show you what's going to happen in the expansion. So it's not cinematic because it gives you an overview of the expansion.
There was two. There's an overview teaser trailer, and then there was a cinematic teaser trailer.
Right. Okay. And then the
actual cinematic trailer.
They're working on a longer format trailer too to release.
Yes. Yeah, so the two things that we saw first was the cinematic trailer, and then they did like a feature overview where they were like, level cap raised to 110, new raids and encounters. Like that one was a separate thing. But I want to talk about the stuff that I get hype about right away, which is the cinematic stuff, right? Like the whole atmospheric setting the scene things. And this small teaser did it for me. I was sitting in TeamSpeak watching it live with a friend of the show who also runs the Orphans Community cast, Steve, and sitting there just hyperventilating as this thing is going on, just like squealing like little itty bitty girls.
I'm at work. I'm getting texts from Chris and from Rob, and I'm like, "Well, I can't watch it." So I threw up the stream and I just like minimized it so I could just listen to it, and just that was enough to get me super hype.
Yeah, dude, I almost threw up on the stream too. Anyways, so the cinematic teaser opens up with Gul'dan, and he's walking through what seems to be like a really dark hallway with like some sort of torch. I'm like, wow, did they get this mixed up with the Draenor stuff?
Yeah, right.
This looks really similar. And I was waiting for just like Grom to come out of nowhere and just tackle him. But anyway, so they're like, he's walking through this dark area and he like holds up this torch to what looks to be like a green crystal, and you're like, fuck, what's he gonna do? Huh? And then he's like, just like chuckles a little bit, puts his goddamn orc hand on this green crystal. I'm like, well, shit, what is this gonna be like? Oh my god, what's
green crystal?
What's gonna happen? Oh, I didn't know what was gonna happen. And then he puts some like fell energy into it or something, and then there's a figure inside, and then these iconic tattoos on his chest light up, and then you see the man bun on the top, and I just started freaking out because the music was like bow 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 bow, and I just lost my shit, and I just started like freaking out, going, "It's oh my god, I am so raging." Oh my god, I lost my mind.
So good.
I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
We can mention this because we're talking about it. There was a side thing that also happened after the stream, but it was confirmed by Blizzard. So some of our information comes from that. The original universe that we went to in the Burning Crusade and Northrend and all that, that's where this expansion will take place. So the new timeline of Draenor is kind of like weird. I don't know how they explained it exactly, but it has something to do with the fact that Gul'dan can just be like, yo, I'm gonna hop timelines or some shit, kind of like we can. So
at the end of Warlords of Draenor, Gul'dan is banished to the Twisting Nether.
Right.
And so then he comes out the other side, and he's existing in our timeline now.
Boom, just like that.
Because the Twisting Nether is the Twisting Nether, it doesn't have different timelines. So the Twisting Nether that he was banished to is the same Twisting Nether that we encountered the first few times that we dealt with the Twisting Nether in our timeline.
Yeah. So that's how they're
reconciling. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Illidan that we see in this new expansion is actually going to be the same Illidan from the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, it's our Illidan.
Correct. My Illidan.
It's and I was looking at I was reading some posts about this, and so Illidan's body, when you defeat him at Black Temple, there's a couple of things. First of all, when a demon dies in the mortal plane, it doesn't actually die. Its soul exists still. And then on the Twisting Nether side, there are people that manifest those souls into things and recreate them as monsters every single time. So like, when you kill a demon in its demonic form, it like blows up. It's like and like disappears. That's because it's going back to the Twisting Nether to then come back again. And the only way to truly kill a demon is to kill it within the Twisting Nether. So we killed Illidan, a half demon, in our world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Outland is kind of our world, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the same timeline, so yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but it's not the Twisting Nether's the important
Correct.
part. Right, so we kill him and his corpse is there, but his soul is still alive. So what happens is after your raid loots his body and they leave,
nobody gets Warglaves.
Yes, and nobody gets Warglaives. Everybody's upset. They're like, same time next week, fine, Illidan's like thumbs up from the ground. And Maeve comes in there, who is the who is like his jailer, his pursuer, and she gathers his body and says that she's going to take him back to where he was, which was that prison. Oh my god, what was the name of that prison?
Twisting Nether prison.
Nope. It's
Prison of Azeroth.
I don't remember what the name of the prison is.
I'm helping, right?
Anyway, it's an internal prison. This is the prison that he broke out of in the first place. This is where they banished him. So she's like,
that sounds like a good idea. Hey,
I'm
he
going
broke out
to
of here. Let's put him back.
Yeah, but he's supposedly dead. So she's like, I'm just gonna encase your body so that your soul has to stay here, and so you can fulfill your sentence, because she's just as crazy.
Yep.
So apparently that's why he's there. He's not actually legitimately dead, and Gul'dan just resurrects him.
Yeah, something like that. So
something
cool lore. I think lore is great, but really,
I do too.
Yeah. So new expansion. I was looking on BattleNet to try to get things, for this podcast, and it turns out they broke BattleNet. It was super slow and ridiculous because everybody was trying to get information on new things like, new playable class. Woo! So yeah, let's talk about first the zones that we're going to be going to. So the main zone for this expansion is the Broken Isles. It's basically one giant island, but whatever.
But it's broken up into smaller broken islands.
Yeah, I mean, sorta. Okay, sure.
Kind of, sorta.
I'll give it to you. So the Broken Shores is the starting zone for the expansion. That's where you're gonna go when you buy the expansion and you're level 100 and you're like, let's go do the new stuff. That's where you start. High Mountain, Velshara, Stormheim, Suramar, and Azuna, and Thaldranath are all the other areas that you're going to be going to. I don't want to talk about them too much. They went into kind of some detail, so if you want to check out like what each one does, go watch the stream. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, they talk about like what each of those places mean and why they're important.
Yeah.
And
who lives there and stuff like that.
Yes, High Mountain, Moose Antlered Tauren. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And I don't want to be a stickler, Matt Hillman, but it's not Valshara, it's Valshara.
Okay, fine.
I watched the stream, so...
No, I mean, fine, go ahead, fine, whatever.
That's it.
I only watched it once, Chris. Okay, twice.
Oh, I watched it a couple times. I watched it a couple times.
But still, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Valshara actually is kind of cool because it is home to the first raid of the expansion, the Emerald Nightmare, where the adventurers travel.
I am so hyped.
The Emerald Dream for the first time.
So fucking hype. Oh my god. I've been calling for the Emerald Dream for like 3 expansions.
You actually have them.
Oh my god. So I was talking with Casual Cast host Alex Whitehair about this today, and he was talking about how he's afraid that they're going to be doing the same thing that they did with Path of Exile, where they try to put too much stuff into one expansion, and then they've limited themselves into exploring other avenues for future expansions, right? Because it's been long, like, strategized and theorized that the Emerald Dream would be an entire expansion at one point in time or another.
Okay.
Right? And so them doing this, and then them kind of, like, devaluing it makes it seem like they won't do that. And I tend to agree, but I didn't really realize this until I was having this conversation with him yesterday. But if you think about the sort of people that would be our like guides to bring us into the Emerald Dream and bring us through, who do we think of? Right, we think of Cenarius, but he can't really take us that far because he's a demigod.
That actually is who is in the Emerald Dream with you.
I know, but but he can't take us far enough such that we can do like an entire expansion. I mean, like he can't manipulate it and stuff to the degree that we would need for like this to be. He couldn't deal with like a ridiculous amount of threat in there. He can just exist and bring people in and out and deal with it a little bit, right? But the person that would bring us in and take us out and bring us all around and then back again would be Ysera, the dragon aspect, right?
Right.
But at the end of Cataclysm, all the aspects give up their aspect powers.
Yeah. So now you're like,
that's not happening anymore. So now this is an acceptable place for it and an acceptable role, and I'm really happy that they're doing it.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. I don't know how it's gonna work with the things and stuff, but we'll see. It'll be fun. And we'll talk more about that raid when we get there. And then Suramar is the home of Suramar Palace, which is the second raid of the expansion. So those are all the main areas that you'll be going in the Broken Isles. And then they've also introduced new main hub for this expansion. And I say new, but it's Dalaran. So I don't know. Is it new?
Oh,
It's
yes.
Dalaran. Sure, why not? It's new. They also said that the Dalaran in Northrend will remain there for playability. So there's going to be a Dalaran in Northrend and a Dalaran in the Broken Isles.
That's kind of frustrating.
It's a little weird, and I'm kind of like, I don't know why they did that.
Well,
but anyway.
I mean, they got rid of the old Dalaran in old Azeroth when they moved it for Wrath.
Yeah,
and
they moved it, yeah.
I loved that. That was a cool thing that they did. And so I wanted them to do it again. And then I just wanted, like, for people that are questing through Wrath that have to go to Dalaran, to there be, like, somebody to teleport you there to the new version and then back or something like that in, like, a limited sense. Like, you were a ghost form and they were projecting you there and you couldn't leave the city. So people don't just, like, stay there. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a cool thing that they did. This breaks up the continuity for me a little bit. It's a small thing. But
it's a small thing, yeah. I don't know. In my opinion, why do we need Dalaran? Like, couldn't you just do another?
Oh, no. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm okay. How does it make sense, lore-wise?
Khadgar.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, like, if you wanted to create a hub in this new area, like, I don't know, from the Horde perspective, just make a fucking city. Like, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dalaran's gonna be in this. Also, Icarus is there?
Icarus, yeah.
Icarus? Is that how you say
Icarus?
it? I don't know. I thought it was Icarus.
It might be. The place DKs are in.
Yeah, it's the DK starting zone in Wrath.
The DK treehouse.
Yeah, the DK treehouse. In the northern Stranglethorn?
No, it's in Eastern Plaguelands.
Eastern Plaguelands. I knew it was some sort of, like, cardinal direction.
Why
place.
do you always go into Stranglethorn?
I don't know. Stranglethorn seems to be, like, my go-to, but I don't actually like that
There's nothing there except for Moody Bay.
Anyway, I don't know what it's in the new expansion for. It's on the map, but they didn't really talk about it, so...
I have theories. We'll get to it when we get to class orders later.
Okay, sounds good. That actually is a pretty good theory. So, those are all the main places you're going to be going. We'll touch on all the other stuff. Basically, the thing I want to talk about first is artifacts, because artifacts are really, I think they're really cool. Some people are kind of like, weird. I think they're pretty cool. So
I'm excited as fuck.
Yeah, basically, artifacts are a new weapon that you will have to use the entire expansion. The reason they're doing this is to provide more customization for your character. Basically, artifacts are going to be like a legendary weapon, but totally new in the sense that you can customize your artifact. You can change the way it looks, yeah, but more than that, you can actually change what it does to your character and your weapon. So you can add in some things to make it, increase its stats, or, do certain things like they talked about the Ashbringer. Yes, the Ashbringer. They brought that up and they said that one of the things you're going to be able to do is duplicate whatever certain spells you're using as a Ret Paladin, like Judgment, and you would be able to duplicate it from your Ashbringer. So the Ashbringer is actually going to duplicate that spell.
It's like Echo of Justice or some shit. It's called something really cool. It's really cool.
So this is how artifacts are going to work. So when we start the new expansion, this is going to be one of the first things that we're going to do. You have to do a personal journey to gather the fragments to reforge the artifact for your class and specs. So basically, they talked about a few. If you're a DK, you're going to go to Ice Crown Citadel and gather the pieces of what is kind of like Frostmourne. It's like a Frostmourne-inspired dual weapon sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the shards of Frostmourne after it got shattered during the battle with him.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing that, and you can put them together and like make these new two one-handed weapons called Icebringer and Soul Reaper, and that's for Frost DKs. Ret Paladins are going to go search out the Ashbringer. Monks go to Pandaria so they can gather up the Shilun, Staff of the Mists. Fire mages are going to be using Philoma.
Oh my god.
And this one, dude, enhancement shamans, fucking Doomhammer.
Oh,
get to use Doomhammer.
I'm more excited about Ashbringer than Doomhammer, but that's just me.
Well, obviously, I mean, Ashbringer's pretty cool, but fucking Doomhammer, like,
I
main
guess.
shaman, dude.
That's true. I mean,
I'm gonna have to switch to enhancement now just so I can get Doomhammer.
I'm sorry. Can we just go back really quick to fellow Malorn really quick?
Yeah, Philoma. It's the fire mage's, like, it's kind of it's a new weapon, and it's like a staff.
It's
thingy
not. It's
that's
not a
on
new
fire.
weapon. It's not
it's
really
not.
a new. Yeah. Do you know whose it is?
No.
It's Kael'thas' sword, baby.
What?
Oh my god. Yeah, dude, it's a sword. I'm so excited.
Hype.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's beautiful because it's a.
You
it's
like Kael'thas. You're like a Kael'thas fanboy.
Kael'thas is my favorite character in the lore, yes. So, and now with my triumphant return back to the Blood Elf race, I get to really just live it out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those things are happening. But this one's really cool. Feral and Guardian Druids. Now, the way they revealed this is really, really funny. So if you want to go watch it, you should, because it's pretty hilarious. But the new weapon, the artifact weapon for Feral and Guardian Druids, is actually going to change the model of the transformed character. So if you're playing Guardian Druid and you upgrade your artifact weapon, it'll change the model of your transformed bear form. And the same thing goes for Feral Druid. It'll change cat form for you. So
thank God.
This is the first time ever you're going to be able to change the way your cat looks.
Customize.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
They also confirmed an up-res version of the base form.
Yes, they did. The base form of cat is going to be upgraded. I don't know. They didn't mention bear, but it probably will get a visual upgrade.
It's safe to assume, although I did see, because all they mentioned was Feral and Guardian Druids, I was trolling Reddit, the entirety of the next day to just see how people...
Everyone was, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a really heartfelt post about somebody who plays Boomkin, and they were like, please don't forget about us, because you don't want an N64 character running around in this new beautiful expansion.
Yeah, it's true. I'm hoping they revamp the Boomkin too, but basically... I mean, some people were saying the reason they would do that is because you're still going to be able to use your weapon sometimes. You're not always a bird, so... I don't know how Boomkin works. I've never played it, so I don't know.
We'll see.
We will see. So leveling up your artifact weapon is pretty cool. Basically, when you do certain things in the game, and they mentioned a few, but it's basically like doing all the normal stuff that you would do in this game. Dungeons, doing quests and leveling. I think that's part of it. And then doing raids or PvP. Or pet battles, they said was one of them. You actually get this thing called artifact power, which is like a currency that you can use to upgrade your artifact. So when you gather enough artifact power, you can choose a new thing on your artifact to upgrade. And I basically put sphere grids because that's kind of what it is. It's like little nodes on it. They kind of look like glyphs.
Glyphs.
Yeah, they look like glyph nodes basically. And you can just like make them happen when you have enough artifact power, and you have to go to the connecting ones and work your way around.
Right.
The cool thing is they're unique for each specialization, and you're building the sphere grid kind of thing on top of the weapon that you have. So if you're a Ret Paladin and you have Ashbringer, then when you open this menu, you see Ashbringer, and you activate the nodes along Ashbringer to activate certain things. So it's pretty cool the way they've done this, giving you the ability not only to customize the way it looks, which we're about to get to, but also the certain things that your weapon will do, which is kind of cool. So it'll be interesting to see that. I'm under the impression that 95% of people are just going to look up the best ones to use and then use those, and that's fine, whatever.
The problem, yes.
That will most likely happen. Somebody will min-max it and say, these are the best things to choose, and then you'll choose those. But it does give you the ability to play your class different from everyone else, which I like. The more ways you can play your class, the better.
I just like the availability of the choice, even if I don't use it.
Yeah. This is an example that I've used forever. Nick Cooper, who's played Death Knight pretty much his entire time, basically had said at one point that he was maxing dodge instead of mastery when he was tanking as a Death Knight. And he was like, it's really, really bad because when you get hit, it hurts and you have like no way to stop it. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And he's like, yeah, but you only get hit like 30% of the time. So it's really interesting. Like the ability to customize the way you play your character kind of gives you an advantage in certain things like PvP or even PvE. Like if you can withstand a fight just simply because you have more dodge than the boss can put out, that's like a great way to play this game. It leads to innovation. So it's cool that they're doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the min-maxing is going to look like with this added level of complexity.
Yeah, it'll be cool. But of course, everyone is going to be using the artifact weapons. And actually, there are no other weapons in this expansion at all. You get your artifact weapon, and then you upgrade it as you beat bosses and down raid content and all this other stuff. So you're going to be upgrading your weapon, and they did confirm that there are drops from bosses that will upgrade your weapon. So that's kind of cool. But the thing is, you and every other ret paladin on Earth is going to be wielding Ashbringer. So what they did was they implemented a visual customization thing. Basically, if you do certain things in the game, you will unlock new versions of the Ashbringer. And they used it as an example, so I'm using it as an example. But obviously, if you're playing, Restoration Shaman, you're not going to be using Ashbringer. But the visual customization is pretty cool. There's a bunch of different ones. There's a specific one for PvP. If you get enough points or whatever in PvP, they have a whole new PvP system, which we'll get to. Then you'll be able to unlock a brand new visual customization for this weapon. So a lot of cool things going into the way that customizing this weapon works. And it's good because everybody's going to be having these weapons. So you don't want to look like every other guy who has these weapons.
Well, this is good, right? Because in a lot of ways, especially for DPS classes, because drops were kind of like, a crapshoot, right? And for many classes, they were very weapon dependent, right? And so if you just got super unlucky and you got all your other gear and the last thing you needed was to upgrade your weapon, you couldn't put out the DPS enough. You couldn't get into enough raids because people wouldn't take you because your DPS wasn't high enough. Even if your gear score was good, you would get kicked and stuff like that. DPS classes, this is a buff for you, for your rating, for your progression experience, all this other stuff, because everybody will be at the same basic level when they're comparing DPS and where you can't look at somebody and go, oh well, they're under level, but they have a best in slot bow, so they must be fucking amazing. Like that won't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's true. The artifact thing, I think it's really cool because it allows for a lot of more customization of your character, because normally it's just best in slot and then transmog it or whatever. But they did say that you can actually transmog your artifact weapon. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but if you can transmog
I would see why not.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be really interesting. If you can transmog your artifact weapon, then basically all of the complaints of the fact that everyone's going to have the same weapon are gone because you can just transmog it.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of transmog.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
One more thing about this before we move on, is that I feel like it's going. This was a brilliant move for them, because this is going to, and this isn't confirmed, but I'm assuming this is the case. It's pretty much what they said. This is going to replace the Legendary Quest. This whole artifact thing.
So yes,
it has to.
Yeah.
And while the Legendary Quest was super cool, it was just weeks and months of grinding and collecting and just doing the same raids over and over and over again and getting crystals, blah blah blah. And for what, right? This really cool part in between when you go talk to Khadgar and you do something that you feel like actually made a difference, right? And every once in a while, these quests would come around after we're grinding for weeks and weeks on these raids, and you were like, damn, this is awesome. This is the sort of endgame shit I want to see, all this incredible story stuff, and Khadgar's cool, and I feel like I'm actually helping him. He's calling me by name. It's awesome. But this is going to then offload that entire end game experience where you're just grinding and then it just like kind of diminishes the raid experience because you're just doing it just to grind out these fucking little rocks, to now being part of your leveling experience and a personal journey, so that when you get to raid content, you legitimately feel like you deserve to be there now. And you've been preparing. You've been preparing not just in levels, but like with your experience and story-wise and your own personal journey and yada, yada, yada. This is a much, much, much better way to approach this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it too. It'll be interesting. I mean, they could really, really screw it up if they do it wrong, but from the looks of it, they've really put a lot of time into thinking about this, so I think it'll be good. So,
yeah.
Next thing we're going to talk about is class orders.
Oh boy,
yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm excited. I know you're not excited. I know why you're not excited, but I'm gonna let you talk first, and then I'm just gonna swoop in and I'm gonna make you smile. Okay?
All right, that's fine. Class orders are basically a gathering hall for everybody in your class to rally against the Legion. Basically, if you're a mage, you're going to have a place where you can go where all the other mages are chilling, and you can talk to Medivh or someone. I don't know. There's going to be special people there, I guess. That's what they said. Hell, you can talk to Khadgar. He's a mage, right? Other mages.
Yes.
There's going to be mages there.
Oh, maybe Jaina will show up there. I don't know where the fuck she's at.
Jaina's not in this expansion.
At all?
I'm pretty sure they said that.
But you know who is?
No.
Sylvanas.
Baby. And also,
her new model looks awesome. Oh, what? Is he?
Yeah, I know, right?
What
Surprise! Yeah, so anyway, these class order halls are going to be spread out throughout Azeroth, and Northrend, and I don't know if there's any in Draenor or anyone.
Oh, they're going to be all over the place, but it's not confirmed. I'm sure they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, they're going to be all over the place.
Well, I just really want somebody to just get fucked, and it to be like in Blade's Edge in Burning Crusade. That's all I want. That's all I want. I just want somebody, or to just be like out in the open in the middle of Hellfire Peninsula, just surrounded by like boars that keep like aggroing on them because it's just like a shitty tent in the middle of nowhere.
God damn it.
Oh my god, please fuck somebody so hard.
That would be the Druid one. They can just chill out there. Just fuck you guys.
The Druid class order is wherever the wind is blowing.
Oh, yeah, of course. But they did mention a couple. Shamans are in a hollowed out cave above the Maelstrom somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I hope Thrall is chilling.
I'm assuming there will be Thrall there. And then Paladins are beneath Light's Hope.
Oh, boy.
So you got
that's exciting.
a couple cool things to look forward to. I'm not sure how they're going to work out the whole faction thing. I mean, I'm hoping that nobody like camps the entrance to these places, but yeah, anyway, you're going to be in there. It's going to be a neutral zone, so you can't, it's going to be much like Dalaran, where you can't just blow people up of the other faction. But yeah, there's also something else that you're going to be doing at class orders, which is gathering champions of your class and sending them out to do your deeds for you. Hey, garrisons aren't gone. Oh, garrisons aren't gone.
Okay.
I'm sad.
Are you ready? You ready?
I mean, go ahead. Whatever.
All right. So the vocabulary that they used in the announcement was, with garrisons, you gathered people and then you enabled them to go do things for you. Their goal for this is to gather people and then these people enable you to go do more things. So the better, and there's only going to be a few of them. You're not going to be managing 25, 30, 35 of these fucking dudes. It's going to be just a handful. It's going to be like 4 or 5. And they're going to be, it's going to be, well, they have to be named characters. Like, I'm assuming, like, we're going to, like, let's say if I'm a paladin.
So I can control Thrall?
Yeah, I'm
sure let's go
I'm
Thrall.
sure that Thrall will be one of the people that you deal with,
Yeah, I mean, he'll be there. I don't know if he's going to be one of those people you can control, but we'll see.
Maybe Drekthar.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too caught up, but yeah, people like that. And then they're going to just go out and do a couple of things, and then they're going to come back and enable you to progress, like, storylines and stuff like that, is what I'm gathering. Like, they're going to enable you to do more things, instead of vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
It's all basically speculation because there isn't a lot of information on these class orders. But my interpretation of it is that with garrisons, they were doing things in place of you, and now they're going to be empowering you. So one of the examples they brought up is if you send one of your guys to do a mission in a zone, he'll give you an experience boost in that zone or something. So I can see how it would be important, but the one thing I'm worried about is instead of hanging out in our garrisons, we're all going to hang out in our class orders. We're not going to talk to anybody else. It's like last thing I need is a 30 shamans on my friends list. It's interesting, but I don't know. We'll see how it works.
For me, the important part, for role players, this is going to be fucking amazing. But like if you're not going to be,
you should ask the RP community before you go make a statement like that.
That's true, I suppose. Some people in the RP community will be excited about this. How about that?
Yeah.
You're not going to be alone anymore. You're going to be with other people, and it's going to be a neutral zone, so there will always be like that, man, I hope that dude doesn't try to attack me, or all these other paladins around him are going to fuck his shit up, like, it'll be exciting to a degree. Also, here's the deal. This actually kind of existed in the game before, and do you know what I'm talking about?
Do I? Well, sort of. I mean,
the ebb and hold. The ebb and hold. Yeah, for Death Knights.
Oh yeah. Death Knight starting zone. Yeah.
Yeah, Death Knight starting zone, and then you got you get a teleport Death Gate or whatever it was, something like that. That was you could teleport back to it and stuff like that, and then that's where you did all of your rune forging on your weapons, and you get to do artifact stuff in your class order. So basically, everybody is getting their own ebb and hold.
So Chris, can I tell you something?
Yes.
Nobody fucking uses ebb and hold.
Right, but people will use it now. See, that's the thing.
Like, nobody used it, so it was fine, because you started there, and it was basically just a starting zone like everybody else had a starting zone. The thing is, I'm a little worried that if class orders are too important, people are going to be there all the time instead of being in Dalaran. So we'll see. I don't know how this balance is going to work out, but honestly... I don't think
people are going to be hanging out in their class orders other than to just manage their stuff and then do their upgrading of their things and then coming back to Dalaran. And you don't want that sort of stuff cluttering up Dalaran anyway, so that's good that it has its own place, and it's organized to a degree. I think it'll just give a couple of people choices to hang out in a couple of different places.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they may have said that about garrisons, though, and everybody hung out in their garrison. So we'll see.
Well, where else were they going to hang out?
Well, the idea was that they'd hang out in Warspear or Storm Shield, the Alliance one, I think.
Yeah.
So Ashran, and it's like, nobody really liked Ashran, but there were different reasons for that too. Like you had to go to Ashran to get rerolls, and if you didn't have an auction house in your garrison, that's where you would go. Stuff like that. So
yeah, Ashran didn't feel like it really didn't feel like a hub city. It just felt like a place I went to go PvP and get my rerolls.
Well, the good thing about the new Dalaran is that it's going to be a neutral city, so you're going to have Horde and Alliance all around you, and I'm pretty sure they aren't going to have any like things in class orders like banks and transmog vendors and stuff like that.
Good.
So
good,
you would
good,
have
good.
to go back to Dalaran.
Yeah,
and
you
I
also
think
won't
that's
be
going to
like
be how it is. I don't know for sure.
Professions.
Yeah, we'll get to professions. It's down there.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Hold on, I'll just say it right now. Professions. They're coming back with better stuff, we promise. Blizz 2015.
Well.
That's basically all they said about
professions. As long as it's not in the class order stuff, I don't care. If it's in Dalaran, then people will be in Dalaran.
Most likely it'll be in Dalaran. So yeah. Okay,
good. And then before we move on, I want to just mention. I need
to move on. You know what's coming up there.
I know. But once we before we move on, when we were talking about Icarus earlier up top, the reason that it's there now is that I feel like that's going to be their new class order. And then so that the old place... for Death Knights, so that the starting zone can still be the starting zone, but phased.
Yeah, I believe that that's probably the way it's going to happen.
That has to be the case.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you cannot go to anyone else's class order. They didn't specifically say that, but I'm under that impression that when you go to your class order as a shaman, you're not going to see mages or paladins there. It's all going to be shamans. So.
I really hope it's not phased, though.
Yeah, but I don't know how else they would do it, so...
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Maybe there'll be a portal where you have to be that class in order to use the portal.
Yeah, I just really
kind of
want...
being phased,
I want, as a paladin, for me to go to Light's Hope and then, walk around the back and, type in a special code and, a stone slab moves and, shows a staircase and I just go down there.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna work, Chris.
Oh, hopefully, please.
Please.
And then I'll just, a row, just, slip in and then just, get out of here, dude.
Son of a bitch! Yeah. And all the paladins, just level 150 paladins jump on him. Oh, by the way, we never even mentioned that. The level cap for the new expansion is 110.
Is 200.
What?
No,
is
it's
that confirmed by Blizzard on Saint Stream?
No, it's
it's
110.
Yeah,
110.
so 10 more levels. Hey, I'm thinking maybe that's the new norm for Blizzard. They're just gonna be like, 10 more levels.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next thing we're going to talk about is dungeons. We're integrating them more so you don't give up after you hit raid. Guys, we swear. Blizzard 2015. So raids. No. Okay, so basically dungeons are there. And they're like, guys, it'll be better, I promise. And
yeah,
it'll be
they
great.
openly said, we fucked up and we want to make them much better.
Yeah. I think maybe they will. I think mythic dungeons are going to stay around, which is probably good. I think what you get from doing mythic dungeons and what you get from doing mythic raids should be totally different. Like if you're going to get upgrades for your artifact weapon in raids, you should get something totally different in mythic dungeons so that there's a reason to do both. Otherwise, people are just going to raid. So I think if they really want to integrate dungeons back into the game, they need to give them a reason. You need to give people a reason to do dungeons and not just sit there and do raids because raids are the best gear in the game. So
right.
I think they're going to do that. I think they understand that. I don't know how they're going about it, but I don't know specifically, but they did say that they wanted to make dungeons more, they wanted to inspire more people to do dungeons because they just weren't really utilized in Warlords of Draenor. And if you did dungeons in Warlords of Draenor, you know why. It's like there was just no reason to. There's way too many quests and shit.
The gear issue that they were trying to address with Warlords of Draenor was that they were trying to even the playing field for people to get gear, right? And so I feel like they're going to achieve that objective via artifact weapons. So hopefully they can go back to the old version of what we were used to of raids being top tier and dungeons even at all their different levels being preparatory material for raiding.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to go through all of them. They did mention some of the dungeons. Actually, I think they talked about all of the dungeons that they were planning to release. So go check out the stream to get a closer look at the dungeons. Some of them look really cool. Obviously, all of them have brilliant artwork. The art in this fucking expansion, holy shit, already,
just
crazy.
So excited.
Every single time Blizzard outdoes themselves in the art department. And even the fucking lead game designer, Ian Hazukosis, I think is how you say it, was commenting on how, the art team is brilliant at Blizzard. They're so good. So yeah, that's Dungeons. Go check it out. They actually look pretty cool. And then Raids, they've released revealed two of the raids that are going to start out the expansion. They said they really liked the way that raids were set up in Warlords of Draenor. You could do Heimall, and then you could do Blackrock Foundry, and leading up to the final Hellfire Citadel. So they're going to keep the same structure. The Emerald Nightmare is the first raid of the expansion. There will be 7 bosses, and basically you're going to pursue Cenarius through the raid and face... Go ahead, Chris. What's the guy's name?
Xavius.
Okay.
He's a satyr.
Yes, exactly. He's Cenarius' brother, right? Isn't that how it works?
Nope.
All satyrs are related, right? Is Cenarius a satyr?
No, he's not. He's a demigod.
Oh, he's like a horse thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Lore! Yay! I'm glad we got part of my lore out. Okay, so cool. Yeah, Emerald Nightmare. You're going to see the Emerald Dream. You know, this is going to be a cool raid, I think. So, yeah, that'll be fun. And then the second one that they've talked about is Suramar Palace. There will be 10 bosses in this raid, so 7, then 10, much like Heimall and Blackrock Foundry. And then the last fight is going to be Gul'dan. So if you're taking down Gul'dan at this point in the expansion, there's got to be more. Which means we're going to kill you, them boys.
Again!
Man, I hope so. It's going to be fun.
I really hope that, the fight with him takes us to the Twisty Nether, and then we actually kill him.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, for realsies.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how they play out the rest of this expansion.
But only if that raid has 20 bosses.
Oh, geez, 25. No, 35.
Shoot for the stars, Matt Hellman. Shoot for the stars.
Well, I mean, if you talk about, old raids like, Nax Ramus had, almost 20 bosses, right?
Yeah, but
close.
Each wing was really its own raid in its own right.
Right, exactly. Like if they go back to that style format of raids, then sure, yeah, why not? ICC has a ton, like 18 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. They could do it that way. So yeah, that's dungeons, raids, class orders, artifacts, and the zones we're going to be visiting. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's about everything. Oh wait.
Oh, I'm
Matt
sorry.
Hillman, you must have turned two blind eyes to the new class.
Two blind eyes. Look at you. Oh man. Wow. This is the best. This is the craziest, best announcement ever.
My boner hit the ceiling.
Brand new hero class, Demon Hunter. All right, so let's just talk about this. First off, Illidan's a demon hunter, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. He's like blind and he wields warglaives.
Yep. Those are the defining features of a demon hunter.
That's what makes you a demon hunter, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, you now can play as Illidan or demon hunter. You know that thing. Whatever. Things. But of course you can't be a healer, so fuck it, I'm not going to play Demon Hunter.
You mean Illidari?
What?
Illidari, dude.
Do they have healers?
No. Oh, no, I'm sorry. But demon hunters are Illidari. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just really excited. Keep going.
Okay, well,
keep going.
You can't be a healer, so I'm not going to play Demon Hunter. That's a complete lie. I'm going to play Demon Hunter because they look badass.
Yes.
They are Night Elf and Blood Elf only.
Yes!
Which is a great choice.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the whole, I'm an elf and then God somehow I'm corrupted and now I'm a demon hunter. It's cool. So metamorphosis is not fully explained, but basically it's some sort of buff or something. I don't know. They mentioned it a couple times.
We're not really sure how it's going to work. I have my suspicions for each of the two specializations. But yeah, we'll get to them as we go through the two.
Okay, so there are two specializations, as Chris said. There is a melee DPS called Havoc, and then the tanking specialization, which is Vengeance. And then, did you know anything about the metamorphosis? I couldn't find any information.
All right, so here's my line of logic. Okay.
Okay.
Listed on the new class page, and by the way, the color for the new class is it's like a lime neon green.
Yeah, we didn't have enough green, so
like fell energy, so that makes a lot of sense.
People were upset because they're like, I'm colorblind, and already hunters and monks look the same, so now we get another class that's green.
Yeah,
it's like, oh well,
that's funny.
Sorry.
They can only use cloth and leather. So, we're going to be having a melee DPS spec, rogues, whatever, and a tanking spec. What? Leather? Tanking?
Yeah, leather tanking?
Like monks. Okay, alright. So, to a degree, here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. Metamorphosis for tanks is going to be a more of a form that you have to keep up as you're fighting, I'm assuming, because they are going to be doing like a fury system for this.
They have their resource is called Demonic Fury.
Yes.
And it's basically the same thing as Fury. So
right. And then I'm assuming for melee you can go in and out of it to do certain types of like combos and stuff. But for tanking, I think it's going to be like it's going to be something that you keep up the entire time. Whereas when you're doing melee DPS, it's just going to be something you go into and out of depending on, the sort of DPS that you're doing or combos and stuff with your abilities. I don't think it'll be a permanent transformation. But tanking it has to be. Otherwise, you're wearing leather and you're staying there like a fucking idiot and dying,
Yeah, I could see how that would definitely be helpful. So we don't really know as far as metamorphosis goes, but we know it's a thing. What else can they do? They have Spectral Sight, which basically allows them to view invisible units and stuff.
Through walls.
And through walls? I was like, what? That's so
exciting.
Cool. So, it's basically going to be like, if you want a ranked 3s team, you better have a Demon Hunter, because they need to see your rogues. They can also glide into fights with wings. And I was like, sweet, you can use wings somehow? So there's going to be some sort of slow fall ability where you can throw your wings out and glide around, which is pretty cool.
And
Oh yeah. Do you know what happens if you press spacebar twice?
Double jump.
Dude, you could double jump. There is a double jump ability for Demon Hunters.
This is the only reason I want to play this class.
I have no idea how they're gonna balance this as far as like I guess
Terrain?
there's not a whole lot of terrain issues.
No, not anymore. Now that everything's flyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, you can double jump. I think it's just a cool cosmetic thing. I really don't know if it's gonna come into play.
No, they were saying like, yeah, Demon Hunters will be able to get into other areas that other people can't.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be huge, though. I mean,
but I don't
maybe
care.
like running up into the Demon Hunter class order hall is going to be you have to double jump to get in there.
Oh,
like,
please. I want a platform. That. I want a platform into it so bad.
I can imagine that. I think that would be really, really cool. So yeah, that's all the information I had for Demon Hunters there. That was the stream. And then after the stream, we got the interview. So the starting level of 95 to 100 is being debated. What we think will happen is that Demon Hunters are going to start at level 95 and level to about 100 in their starting zone. That way you can jump into current content. Not confirmed by Blizzard, but they did say that they were debating between 95 and 100. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. They wear leather armor, and they wield glaives, which is a brand new weapon type. For this expansion, it's an artifact weapon that they will be using. But in the future, they'll probably need to introduce more glaives as a weapon type. So there you go. New melee DPS weapon type, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
So the last thing they mentioned in the stream was the honor system. And oh man, this looks so cool. Basically, they've taken the old honor system, which was you gain honor, you purchase equipment, blah blah blah, and they showed it on the screen. And actually, if you were a brand new to PvP person and all you had done is farmed armor and bought yourself the basic season whatever first one of Draenor, actually I think it was called season 1 Draenor. If you bought like the basic set, then you had an item level of 622, I believe. All of those pieces were 622. If you had maxed out your conquest and you had gotten the top armor in Draenor, then your item level was 700.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stats between 622 and 700 were almost double. So when you got into a fight with that person, it was near impossible to do anything. You were just so far behind that it was crazy to think that there was any way you were going to win. So basically what happened in PvP this last season was, and for a lot of seasons, has been the people who are really, really playing dedicated to the PvP zone are doing really, really well. And anyone that's just trying to get into it and try it out for the first time is basically stomped every single time. So they wanted to make it kind of like if you don't play PvP ever, you still have sort of a chance, but the people who are really, really good are still going to win every time. So new system is honor talents. That's what I call it. That's not what they call it, but that's what I call it because it looks like honor talents. It's much like the talent system where you can pick a talent at every level. You know, you level up, you pick one of the 3 talents. It looks exactly like that, but instead you unlock rows first. So the first column, you'll unlock the first row, and then the second, you'll unlock the second row of the first column. So I guess you're unlocking columns first. You unlock the first column all the way down, and then you unlock the second column all the way down, and then you unlock the third column all the way down. The reason they did this is because if you unlock the first column all the way down, that's really easy to do. Getting all 3 columns is much harder. So if you want to try PvP, you can go in, you can unlock the first column, and you get all these new PvP talents. And those are very, they're good, they help you, but they're not as good as the ones that you could get if you moved over to the columns. So playing a little bit of PvP will get you into the whole PvP system, and it'll put you on sort of a level playing ground. But if you unlock all the talents, then that will be the best you can do for your class. So that's really interesting. I like that because you can kind of jump into PvP if you don't really do it all the time. It makes it kind of cooler for people. But the other thing is you unlock all of your talents at level 50. So there's like a honor level now where as you gain more honor, you will go up in levels and you will unlock these talents. If you get to level 50, you can actually prestige and you can go back to level 1. This is really cool because for those hardcore PvP people, they're going to get a bunch of cool stuff for doing this prestiging. Cosmetic stuff mostly, including in unique PvP artifact skins. So you can kind of customize your artifact weapon if you use the prestige system.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So it balances out the people who want to play PvP and do nothing but PvP. They're going to have a lot to do still, but it also opens up the ability for people who don't normally PvP have the ability now to go in and get something for PvPing and not just die in arenas immediately. So, wow, that was fun.
That's a lot of stuff, mate.
That was a lot of stuff. So now we're going to talk about briefly the things that weren't covered on the stream that were added by Blizzard later. And I got these from Icy Veins did an interview with Tom Chilton and Ian Hazakostas, and those are two Blizzard developers. And they just talked about some of the things, answered questions that Icy Veins had. So we covered all the stuff for Demon Hunters. Artifacts obtained early in the expansion and upgraded throughout. There will not be any other weapons in Legion. I think we discussed that a little bit.
Yeah.
But you upgrade your artifact with relics. Artifact relics will be dropped by bosses. So that's kind of how you would upgrade, same kind of way that you would do that. When asked, Karazhan made a brief appearance in the trailer. Blizzard said, "It's an important place."
I already knew that.
So, I don't know if Karazhan
I really hope it comes back to some degree. Yeah, I really hope. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. It doesn't really matter to me because Karazhan is still cool. I can go back and do it right now if I want. Okay. Class and spec changes. So this is kind of cool. Survival Hunters are now a melee class with a pet. Yeah.
Bringing back the old Survival Hunters.
Yeah. Did they used to be melee with a pet?
Yeah, they did. They used to be like swords and stuff. Yeah. It used to be all cool about that. Yeah.
I think they're going to be wielding glaives in this expansion, but I could be wrong.
Really?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a spear.
Oh, yeah, it's polearms.
Yeah, polearm for Survival Hunter.
Oh my god, you freaked me out a little bit.
But they said that in the future when they have glaives as a weapon for everyone in the game, that could be a thing, a good way to go about it.
Oh, okay. Because everybody has more glaives of Azeroth, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Demonology lock is actually going to be... They're kind of redoing Warlocks altogether because of the whole Demon Hunter thing. But Demonology is going to be more focused on summoning pets and controlling your pets because they wanted to kind of separate it from the Demon Hunter.
Yeah,
which makes
that
sense.
should be the case, yeah.
Yeah. When asked about squishing the stats, they said they're not going to. The DPS numbers are in a good spot, and they thought that HP was high. But it was necessary to balance out the healing. Professions. They asked about professions, and Blizzard said, yeah, we're going to make stuff better. It'll be K. And we're like, all right, whatever. Basically, they're getting rid of the fact that you don't have to use professions because all of them are in your garrison. So now that there are no more garrisons, you can do professions again, which is good because why'd they get rid of them in the first place? But we're going to pretend like we didn't realize that. Anyway, they also said no more realm firsts, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that. That's strange.
Yeah, it's a little strange to me. I guess
Do they not enjoy people fervently playing their game?
Well, the reason they said was they didn't want anyone to feel the need to rush into the expansion and blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, the things they said about it was stupid. I get
that from a point. Like they want people to have a good experience and enjoy it, but
they want people to enjoy the expansion and the content in the story. Yeah,
but the sort of people that play these games to get realm first are the sort of people that aren't taking the time to smell the flowers anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they're going to do it regardless. They just won't do it as quickly anymore.
They just want to be the first to 110. That's all.
Yeah, and so. They'll know in their heart of hearts that they're lonely, but they are realm first, even if they don't get a little thing that pops up and says they got it.
And they also said that there are add-ons and other websites that will track it and stuff, so there's no reason for Blizzard to. But it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool to see it under that little, achievements, and then you hit feats of strength and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if there's still going to be world firsts. They didn't really mention anything about that, but they conveniently left it out. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they're still going to have some sort of reward for world first, but who knows. Garrisons. Garrisons are staying in Draenor, and you can go back to them and blow them up. No.
Hopefully, please.
That would be so fucking cool.
Rest in peace, shitty pirate.
You can go back and still kind of, I don't know, do whatever you want with your garrison. Nobody's going to go back to Draenor, let's be honest. And then class orders are different, we promise. Blizzard 2015.
I'm telling you they're going to be different. They're going to be great.
I know they're going to be different, and I'm going to be positive for it, and then when they come out, I'm going to bitch and moan, and I'm still going to move on with my life. And the last thing is release date. There is none yet. They're still working on the full trailer for the game, and they haven't explicitly stated when they're going to release it. I'm assuming that will be in the full trailer of the game. So,
that high render of King Varian Rin's face, though, that they were just keeping in the background. Oh my god.
Yep. So, more to come, but as of right now, this looks like a really good expansion. Plus Demon Hunters, dude. Like, Demon Hunter has been the Warcraft thing for so long. Like, Demon Hunters were around back when Warcraft 3 was a thing. Hell, were they even in Warcraft 2? I don't know.
Demon Hunters?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been around for a very long time.
Been around forever. And everyone's always said, like, why don't you have a Demon Hunter class? Wouldn't that make sense? So, yes, we're doing some sort of fell, like, Burning Legion thing, but Demon Hunter class, man. Demon Hunter class.
It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I think I might even be more excited for artifact weapons. I think the way that they're doing it looks so cool.
I'm most excited for the potential that class orders have. The artifacts, Demon Hunter, obviously. But I'm really more excited about going to the Emerald Dream. I'll be completely honest about anything more than anything else. Yeah, because I've just been waiting for it for such a long time. And like there are lots of portals to the Emerald Dream all around Azeroth. And we've never been able to utilize them before. So it'll finally be cool to see what a visual representation and manifestation of that place is like.
That's cool.
But that, yeah, I feel like that's very specific to, like, me. But
I mean, there are definitely other people who feel that way because everyone
sure.
has been saying, let's go to the Emerald Dream, and why aren't we doing that yet?
Oh, forever. So. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's Legion.
That's Legion, boys.
As we know right now. We'll talk about this more and more and more as more details get released and stuff like that, and we'll just keep fanboying like the little fanboys that we are. But But before we wrap up the show, I do want to do an email that we got a couple of weeks ago. This is actually after episode 7, before we did our live show, and then we didn't have time for it on the live show, so I didn't answer it there. But it's from Andrew, one of our patrons. His question was in the context of his email. My fondest memories are of healing Karazhan and Black Temple. Both raids were incredibly intense, varied, and difficult. What do you guys consider your favorite raids of all time? So what is your favorite raid, Matt Hillman, of all time?
Oh my god, I'm so biased because I'll be honest, I only really raided really, really hard during Pandaria, and Siege of Orgrimmar was the raid that I hit up most. Like, I did that raid so often. I really, really enjoyed that raid. To the point that I would probably say it's my fondest raid memory. Mostly just because I really enjoyed playing with a big group of people and pursuing that content, actually progressing through it. So that is definitely my favorite raid moment. But if I had to pick my favorite raid in the game, I never rated it current content, but ICC is fantastic.
Oh, it is.
I ran Black Temple a lot. This was before Legion. Like, I didn't know Legion was going to be a thing. This was in Pandaria. I was running Black Temple for Transmog, and fighting Illidan on top of Black Temple, coolest fight. Like, man, so cool. So I don't know. I like some of the older raids. I only ran Karazhan once. I should probably run it again because it's a really good raid. But yeah, I don't know. I think my favorites are the Black Temple or ICC.
Okay.
What about you?
For myself, hands down, Karazhan. I rated it when it was current content with a bunch of close friends from high school at the time. And some of my fondest raiding memories are doing that with them. It was goofy, non-progressive, and just a fun casual time. But that raid was like top-notch quality, amazing, from the chess fights, from the chess fight to summoning the optional bosses like the dragon on the side and stuff like that. Like that raid is just full of wacky, insane, fun stuff, and the music is so good in Karazhan. It's so good. Yeah, but I never did Black Temple when it was current content. I never did ICC. I did a little bit of ICC when it was current content, but not very much. I think I got 3 or 4 bosses in. But I never got to Arthas. But I went back and I've done them since, and they were good times. Sunwell Plateau was a good time.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
I do, just because Kael'thas.
Yeah, you do like that one.
Yeah. But other than that, I'd have to say probably just Karazhan. Karazhan just is my objective answer.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed all the raids in Pandaria, but they just didn't really stack up as far as, I don't know. Siege of Orgrimmar was just so much better than all the other ones, in my opinion. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it, and as far as like raiding current content, that was the most fun I've ever had raiding, but I don't think it was the best raid in the game. Definitely not.
Fair enough.
It was a good raid, but it wasn't the
There's
best.
something special about doing current content, though, that makes it better than going back and doing old.
That's a little bit why I'm sad right now, is because it's like my guild was basically disbanded, and now I have no one to raid current content with, so it's pretty sad.
Next expansion, you better have room for Blood Elf Demon Hunter.
There's going to be some serious things going on. I'll let you know when we're not talking to people on stream or whatever we're doing right now.
You mean recording a podcast?
Yeah, that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us then. This show is dedicated to our patrons, Andrew and Sargent. Thank you guys so much for supporting our show. If you would also like to support our show, you guys can by heading over to patreon.com/thehearth to get the main show episodes 24 hours early, and a couple of other really cool things like arena draft videos and stuff like that. It's made just for you guys. Yeah, and if you'd like to, answer the Gromash Hold question this week, which was, one more time,
what part of World of Warcraft Legion are you most excited for?
Oh, that one. I'll post that on the Facebook and the Twitter. If you'd like to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, I won't complain. That'd be really nice. You should also leave us a review on iTunes and or Stitcher, for wherever you guys get the show at. But yeah, send your emails in at thehearthshow@gmail.com. And then we have a phone number. It is 681-443-2784. So you guys can send your voicemails to that number, and we'll play them on the show and answer them as if they were emails, and it's a good time. Bang bang. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
See you.